Hey everyone, it's the Mimi Podcast. I'm your host, Mia.
And I'm Milesh Patel.
You're who?
Milesh Patel.
Are you sure?
Yep, that's who I am. Please respect me.
Alright. Um, so today, what's going on with you?
Not much. In terms of, I guess, what's been happening, I've been playing a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on my Switch. Pretty fun. That's what I want to do a lot. I've been...
Lots of anime titties?
Yeah, there's some hot ones. Mithra and Pyra are both really hot.
There are a lot of girls in that game. I'm pretty sure the thing I know from that game.
The thing is, like, there's a gacha kind of system in it.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of, cute girls in it.
Like a lot of characters to choose from.
Well...
Or am I wrong?
So the basic concept is that your characters are drivers, and there's, like, these crystals, and you summon characters from crystals. These crystals can become, like, these humanoid guys that act as your blade because they all have different weapons. And if you get, like, the 5-star one, they're, like, anime-themed characters.
They're basically weapons.
Well, they are weapons.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are weapons.
But they're also, like, humanoid in appearance. And some of them can also not be. Like, some of them will just be animals.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the first time we've seen, like, a weapon person.
Yeah. Look at Bleach.
Yeah. Soul Eater,
Yeah. So, basically... There are a lot of waifus in it that are very cute.
Who's your favorite?
I think my favorite is I'm pretty basic, and I like one of the main character. His blades are Pyra, who's like the redhead.
I know Pyra.
Yeah, and she has a different form of her called Mithra. Mithra, that's my queen, and I think if Mia saw the design, she'd understand why.
Probably would.
I've been playing a lot of that. I've been actually going through some of my fall shows that I watched and actually finished a lot of them, which you can follow me on Twitter where I have reviews on them. So I've been doing that. Just been doing that and playing Xenoblade. That's about it. I watched a couple of the winter shows this season too that came out. But I'm going to get more into that once I finish some. I have like 2 or 3 more fall shows I want to finish before I really get fully immersed into the winter collection.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, as far as it goes for me, I am watching more anime now.
What?
That's crazy.
Mia watching anime?
Yes. I really wanted to watch Jujutsu Kaisen because everybody was talking about it. Uh-huh. So I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen.
How far are you?
I'm on like episode 10.
Okay. Yeah, it's good.
Like that. Yeah, it is good.
The ending though?
Oh, really? It's like the fight scenes are cool right out the gate. I love the main character.
Yeah, he's really cool, Itadori.
He's great. That's the most I've liked the main character in a while for like a shonen, I think. Like really, really liked him.
Okay.
I feel like he's just I just like his personality.
He's
his
definitely
whole vibe.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people compare him to Ichigo.
Oh, really? Is Ichigo that cool? 'Cause like this guy, what's his name? I don't remember.
Itadori.
I cannot remember his name to save my life. A lot of their names, to be honest, except for like Megumi, because that is the most cutest name I've ever heard for like that type of character. But like, yeah, he's just like a cool like bro type of character.
Yeah, and like Ichigo is very similar. He's kind of a bro, but they're both similar in terms of being a bit more low maintenance characters that aren't.
Yeah.
They're a lot of their motivation stems from wanting to protect people and save people's lives. Itadori has a bit more of a better motivation because his grandpa died, and now he's like, I have to make sure he has this interesting thing about like death.
He has a nice, I like his little story, his motivation story.
Yeah.
It's a nice story.
Yeah, and
he's like a cool guy. He's not like some loser kid of the school though, but he's also not like too cool and like too powerful. Yeah. He's still just like this goofy, like down to earth kid.
Yeah.
That's what's cool. He's a nice balanced character. Is basically what I'm trying to say.
And the opening is good.
The opening is, it's a good.
It is good.
It's a good, nice shonen opening.
And then I remember hearing the ending. I'm like,
the ending though.
I was like, on God, okay.
Yeah. The ending gives me so much life. I never skip it. I watch all the way to the ending and through the end.
The full version's even better.
Oh my goodness. It's like the song is a banger, but also the ending sequence is just awesome.
It's so beautiful.
It's amazing.
I know this came out, they're doing like part 2 season 1 now. And
Yeah,
I know they
that's
changed
something.
the opening and ending, and I'm like,
They can't top that one. That I was
it-
so sad. I was like, I was filled with joy, and I was like, I'm sad because they're not gonna top this ending later.
yeah, I haven't listened to them yet, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, and then of course also I'm simping really hard for Satoru, but who isn't?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean Gojo's is
he's awesome.
godlike.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's that. I'm finishing up Haikyuu, so we'll talk more about that sometime.
The last season was so good.
I'm
Oh
actually
my
finishing it,
gosh.
and I'm like, I got through most of like part 3, and I'm like, yes, that match was so good.
When they fight Shiro Torizawa.
No. Did I say season 3? Season 4.
Oh, okay.
Season 4, part 1.
So you finished that?
Almost. I
Okay.
finished the match that they did against what are they called? Oh, I don't remember the name of them. But it was whenever Kageyama got really like, oh, I don't know this court, so he was like really off game.
Yeah.
They like started off really off
Oh,
game.
like the last part of it, where they fight the guys with the headbands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, IQ's always good. Eventually, we have to talk about
Part
it.
2 of Haikyuu, where they fight Inarizaki. That match is so good.
Yeah, I think eventually we should have like a sports anime thing.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'd be good. And then I've been keeping up with Attack on Titan.
Oh, the anime.
Yeah.
The last episode.
Because I've never read it,
Yeah.
but now I'm up to date.
Yeah, I haven't read it
anime.
either. Man, the last episode was amazing.
Oh my god.
Like,
literal just endorphins are spewing out of me as I watch it. Like
yeah. I know Gigaki tweeted something like about Attack on Titan final season. It was like, this is what it feels like to watch a classic unfold in your eyes. And I was like, yes.
I guess that is happening, huh? That's what it's like. It's such a Attack on Titan has just got so big, and it's like it's so big that the first episode caused servers to crash of the final season.
Yeah.
The first episode of final season did, and it's like I feel like this is a cool experience we're all enjoying. We're all watching the end of something like really awesome.
Yeah.
It's nice. So that's it, really. That we definitely, I guess, when Attack on Titan ends, we have to talk about that too.
For sure. I want to watch it again after it ends, actually.
Man, I see a lot of people complain about like the animation. I guess I won't get into that, but I do have like mixed feelings. I appreciate though the studio and what they're doing.
Yeah, I know most.
I am grateful.
I know Roger and a couple other friends who read the manga for the most part all like the animation and stuff. Obviously, the times are in CGI now, which is different from how they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But me and him talked about it yesterday, and we both are pretty okay with it. It's like, it doesn't look ugly, and it's not like, it kind of makes sense for some of the scenes that are happening. Like, it doesn't come out of it nowhere, right? It's not like got Berserk level bad CGI just happening all the time.
There is a little bit of like, for me, there's like a bit of disappointment in the fact that this is the very last season, and the first seasons were just so incredible.
Yeah.
That it's like, your hopes for the final, this is like the end.
Yeah.
And I feel like, or at least my hopes got really, really high. But whoever's making the decisions to like green light, we're going to animate this. I think they just have specific time constraints, and there's like a specific way they want to do it. And so it's just kind of impossible for us to get whatever I was envisioning, like this big masterpiece I was envisioning. I think it's just impossible to get that.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it feels like for a lot of things, right?
Yeah, which is really, so that's what really upsets me, if anything.
Yeah.
Is that whole system that you just can't really control. It's people with, trying to market and do all that stuff. And
it's also just
it's
hard.
it's like, I'm pretty sure, it's like Mappa obviously didn't have enough time. They're too busy. And it's like, I would have been okay waiting for it. If it meant that they could, whoever gets it, I guess, could do their best. And I think it's just time restraints can't make it quite what it was in the first season.
Yeah, and a lot of what animation comes from is just the staff that makes it, right?
Yeah.
And if you're talking Titan, which has been airing for like 8 years now, obviously it's really hard to keep getting the same people for each one.
Yeah.
It's like the One Punch Man season 1 and season 2. The staff is completely different, and you can see it in season 2.
Yeah. It's basically, we've just been really spoiled. Unfortunately, it's caused like the animators to get attacked online. Okay. Apparently that's been happening, like harassed. Like one of the guys shut his Twitter down for a while.
Yeah, don't be stupid.
Yeah, that's not nice. That's
like,
not cool.
It still looks better than like 80% of anime that's coming out.
Right. It really does.
Chill out.
And this recent episode was great, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's that. So our main topic, though, we thought we would kind of go back in time a little bit, and we'll look at some of the older anime that have kind of been with us in our childhood. I think a lot of us are familiar with this anime and grown up with. There's certain anime that we've kind of grown up with.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody, but it's like you kind of knew what it was at least.
Yeah.
I think everybody had some type of, or at least everybody our age, had some type of experience with anime to some extent.
Yeah, especially if you grew up, in America with the TV, you had Toonami.
Yeah, like 90s, 2000s.
Yeah, and even if you did, I mean, you probably still watch Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Everybody knows what Pokemon is.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think is one of the most? How should I word it? What stands out the most in your childhood as far as anime goes?
I think for me, I think when you first start watching stuff like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't think those are anime, right? Because I remember thinking these are just fun cartoons. And so I remember when I first watched a couple episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho, I'm like, this is a little different.
Oh, really? When did you first start watching that?
It was on Toonami when I was a kid, and I just started watching they aired the episode. I remember my aunt, she came into the room because I was watching it with my cousin, and she's like, you guys can't watch this. This is too violent. And it kind of made sense. Like, the first episode, Yusuke gets run over by a car.
It was on Toonami?
It was definitely on television.
I know that Yu Yu Hakusho came on TV, and I knew it was on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was on Toonami.
Yeah, so that was the first time I really clicked it. Like, there's something different here. I didn't watch it after that because she didn't make us watch it anymore. Yeah. But, like, after that, it was like Naruto was like the really big thing. I was like, this is not cartoon. This is anime. And kind of just from there, it led me to like know what Bleach is. And I remember watching Bleach. I never watched Bleach on Adult Swim because I never really stayed up that time. But I do remember seeing One Piece episodes, Prince of Tennis episodes, and stuff like that in Toonami. Like Mar, Zatch Bell, all that kind of stuff. And that was when it really hit me, like, this is anime.
Yeah. How old were you when, like, you saw Yu Yu Hakusho? You had to be really little because Yu Yu Hakusho, I'm pretty sure, like, I have no memory of it being on TV.
Yeah, like, I was, like, probably 5, 6.
Okay. Yeah, at that time, I didn't really have cable. I had, like, Kids WB and 4Kids to choose from.
Sonic X.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because, like, yeah, for me, when I go back in time, I wasn't allowed to watch Pokemon. So that was out of the question.
Okay.
But I definitely didn't know that these were anime. Like, the earliest thing I can remember is watching Fighting Foodons, and that came on Kids WB. Kids WB had so much anime on it. But I didn't know it was anime. But that's the earliest thing I can remember, and I was very invested. There was an omelet cat. People have probably seen it before. A lot of people have not, but...
Yeah, I haven't.
A lot of people probably don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
It's basically like, it's like a show, and they have, like, cooking competitions, and they fight with food. No, they literally fight, like, they have battles. It's like Pokemon, but with food, and, like, I think there were... I don't remember if they were cards. I feel like they were cards, and they would, like, summon these creatures by cooking them.
Okay.
And that's how they would battle, and it was great.
Okay, I mean, that's something.
Yeah. But I think I kind of remember the exact, like, sort of time where I found out that anime was Japanese was when, I'm pretty sure Naruto was airing and Tokyo Mew Mew was airing, and sometime in the middle of their run, my older brother is a huge weeb, like, back then at least, not now, but back then he was the biggest weeb, and he told me, he was like, hey, this stuff's Japanese, you see how it doesn't match their lip flops? I was like, what? And ever since that day, I looked at them and I was like, it doesn't match. This is crazy. I was like mind blown. I'm like, you just ruined anime for me, or the shows for me. I can't look at it the same way. And I noticed every time when their mouths didn't match. And then eventually I just started looking up Naruto and I found the Japanese and I was like, anime, that's crazy. I was like in like elementary school.
Yeah, because I remember my mind was blown because I was talking like in fourth grade. I remember talking with my friends. I had two of my friends both like Naruto, and they're like, "Oh yeah, but do you watch the Japanese?" I was like, "Wait, what? You're telling me the Japanese have it ahead of the American dub?" And I remember they're like, "Yeah, go on this like website called YouTube, and they have like the Japanese stuff on there, and that's how I discovered YouTube." Fun fact.
Oh, I think YouTube. No, I think I was on YouTube for a bit before that, but YouTube is where I first found Japanese dub on accident. I was just looking up Naruto and I think I found, hey, this episode. I was like, this is the episode I just saw last Saturday. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, this is the next episode.
Remember, I think they were.
And that's what happened. That's how it started.
Because it was right. They knew the third Hokage died. Like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, you gotta watch it on YouTube. They got the Japanese stuff on there. I was like, okay, bet.
That's crazy. Dude, I'm pretty sure I was the only one that was doing that. Like, in my school, in my class, I would talk to people on Naruto all the time, but I was like, I had a friend or two that was into it, but nobody was like
into
anime.
Yeah.
Nobody. But it was in like third grade.
Yeah.
So my first anime that I watched, it was like in Japanese, like full all the way, was like Tokyo Mew Mew, and I did that in like 4th or 5th grade.
Yeah, because I was like, it was Naruto for me. Like, I remember catching up to the Naruto sub and being like, this shit would be different. And kind of from there, like, after I watched Cut Up to Naruto, I kept on, that was like my main anime for a long time. And then I got into, I came into middle school. I know some people liked Bleach. I was like, okay, let me check out this Bleach thing. I watched all the English episodes, and then I started watching the Japanese episodes to catch up. That was weird.
Yeah.
And then once I caught up to Bleach, I was like, I remember watching One Piece when I was younger, and I liked that. Let me check out One Piece. And I caught up to One Piece. I watched all of that in English, Japanese, I mean. And, I mean, we all know how I feel about One Piece now, so obviously that one definitely stuck out the most. But, and then after that's kind of when I started branching a bit more in, like, 9th grade, when I had a friend who introduced me to a bunch of anime, because he's like, yo, you like these three, what about Full Metal Alchemist and all this stuff, and that's kind of when my anime journey fully really began.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like it happens a lot in high school. For me, it was a little early.
Oh, you're bragging.
But, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, is that a good thing? But, oh shoot, what was I going to say though?
Okay, I also forgot. Dragon Ball Z was definitely part of my childhood life too.
But I feel like that one was like...
It was again like a Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh thing where I couldn't tell that was like Japanese until around when I knew Naruto was like Japanese anime.
I feel like in Dragon Ball 2, I didn't really get a chance to watch it. Like I said, I grew up without cable most of the time, so I only had 4Kids TV. Yeah. I only had like PBS Kids and Kids WB. Like those were my cartoon channels. Yeah. And so it was like Saturday morning, whatever they were playing, I'm watching it. So pretty much everything that came on those channels, I've seen. And but like Dragon Ball Z was something that came on like Cartoon Network, and I couldn't watch that. It was like special, like when I went to my grandma's house or somebody's house, it was like, yeah, cable, I can watch this cool stuff. And of course my mom was not a big fan of Dragon Ball Z. You know, she just has her reasons for not liking things that I was watching, especially like anime things. She wasn't specifically targeting anime, but anime just had a lot of things that she didn't like most of the time. And, like, I remember also Adult Swim stuff. Yeah. And I'd be like, I was aware that it was like, this is still before I'm really knowing what anime is, but I saw that style and I was, like, seeking it. Yeah. And then I was like, I know I've seen this on late at night. I'm like, I really want to watch it because it's this style, and that style is usually pretty good. So, like, Blood and Bleach and all that stuff. Yeah. And I could never stay up late enough. Sometimes I'd catch Inuyasha, but most of the time I could not stay up late enough. And even when I did, I was too young to understand what was happening. Yeah,
it's really funny with Inuyasha because that's such a big thing for a couple of our other friends who really grew up watching like that and Sailor Moon, right?
Yeah, like Sailor Moon. So many people grew up watching Sailor Moon, and I did not even know it existed until middle school.
Yeah, me too. I was like, what? Everyone knows what this show is? Wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, what? I missed something. I was like, Naruto's not the only thing? Like,
yeah, because I remember when like people told me they started watching Inuyasha and Sailor Moon when they were kids, I was like, on God, huh? What? Like, it was just so bizarre thinking, like, they knew what Naruto was. They knew some of these shows, but, like, Inuyasha and Sailor Moon just went over my head, and
Yeah.
it's I don't really regret it, and I think it's kind of funny poking fun at people that really love Inuyasha today. That's my take.
I think it's interesting. It really shows though how big Naruto was. Naruto was just marketed so well, and like just it was just so big in America. It's just insane.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people consider it like the Dragon Ball Z for like our like early 20s generation, right?
Right. It's like so like Dragon Ball Z still I say bigger because it's just longer running and like the games are really big.
Yeah,
for that too.
I had a bunch of Dragon Ball Z games.
Yeah, I played so many of the games with my brothers. I know the Dragon Ball Z story through the games basically.
Yeah.
Because I've never actually sat and watched all of it straight
Yeah.
through. I've watched up until like the Frieza arc and like that's about it.
Yeah.
And I've seen like the early Dragon Ball, but that's not important.
Early Dragon Ball is important.
No, not to what we're talking about.
Yes, yeah.
I love the early Dragon Ball.
Yeah, early
show.
Dragon Ball is the best Dragon
Yeah.
Ball.
I love that one. But I didn't watch that till later in life, so what I was getting at
Naruto.
something about Naruto.
Really popular, marketed well.
Yeah, it was like people who didn't go anywhere near anime. They're like, yeah, I know what Naruto is. And like it was either like ooh Naruto or like ugh Naruto, ooh obnoxious. And that was like the biggest anime in my like life, I guess. My early life was like watching Naruto every week.
Yeah.
They even had marathons.
Yeah.
Remember those times where I don't remember, it was like Naruto Undo or something, and they'd show straight up Naruto for like 3 days straight.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy they did that. It was wonderful. So I don't know. Was Naruto that was also like your anime that you were like
Naruto,
the most dedicated to?
Yes, I had like the headband. I
always wanted the headband.
I had the Naruto posters. I remember going to like the book fair and I remember seeing Naruto posters and like, oh, time to cop.
I got the book that had the posters in it. It had like 10, 20, or 12 posters in there.
I played
a bunch of all of my walls.
Yeah, I had a bunch of the fighting games. Yeah, I had a bunch of all that stuff. And my favorite thing about Naruto was just like that was what really enamored me. And like Mia's right where I would watch it weekly. I watched it in Japanese, played all the games. It dictated what whenever I wanted the Xbox 360 just because a Naruto game was only for it. That was the only reason I have a 360 was because of a Naruto. Really? Yeah.
I definitely wanted one whenever I saw like Chronicles.
That game is bad.
I know, but back then I was like, ooh, like it looks so cool, and I really like wanted it.
Yeah, so Naruto was a huge part of my life, and it's something that will never go away, and I'll always like really respect it for. Right,
even though there's so many, it's like at some point in your life you realize this is not the greatest story on earth.
Yeah, like
it's kind of far from being the greatest story.
Yeah, I mean, just listen to the podcast we did on Naruto.
Yeah, we really ripped it apart, even though we did also like reminisce on it.
Yeah, there's so much good. It's hard not to love Naruto because there's so much memories with it. Yeah. But I do a lot of the time when I talk to my Naruto friends that's like their one and only. Like sometimes I like sit back and kind of question them a little. I'm like,
you're kind of like, there are some people that it's like they think that's the best thing in the entire world. That's like the apex
of the industry.
And I'm like, no.
And it's so bizarre when I meet people that have like watched a lot of the big three and they still say Naruto is their favorite. I'm like, okay, man, proud of you, but there's flaws to it. But yeah. Obviously, when you're a kid, you're not going to notice them, so who cares?
Yeah. Like Naruto was my favorite anime for the longest time, but it's like by the time it ended, it was like impossible to keep giving it that title.
Yeah, I mean, once I got up to One Piece, I mean, Mia is looking at the corner of my room, and you can see which one I went with.
Yeah, I can tell. There are still so many things about Naruto that I still love, aside from story issues, or not worrying about like the issues in the story because there's so many story issues, and I think it's interesting how like it's very like American how explosive it was. And compared to other places in the world, not really as big.
Yeah.
But it did another thing it did, and like also just Tokyo Mew Mew is because I always was a drawer, and like that's just the thing that I like doing as a kid. I used to draw normal. There was a time where I didn't draw anime. And so I was drawing like animals. I would like back then I wanted to be a vet, right? I'd open like an encyclopedia of animals, draw some animals from the book, stuff like that. It was so innocent, just regular stuff. And then like anime comes along, like, hey, we look super cool. And I was like, I want to make that. And then, so sometime late in elementary school, I started drawing anime. So thus, that, you know, I started drawing anime pretty much from then on. And I like never stopped. I draw other stuff, but it's like, this is what I want to draw. And that's just how I feel most of the time. I'm just like, it's just such a cool and interesting take on human beings.
Yeah.
It's nice and aesthetic.
Yeah, and you can see her draw stuff on her Twitch channel, which she will drop below now.
Oh, yes. Miyakiato _
You might have to spell that for the folks at home.
MIACCHIATO _
Yep.
That is my Twitter also, and my Instagram. It's all the same.
Yeah.
You know, just saying, just throwing that out there.
Yeah. So
you know, a couple of people have actually listened to this from my Twitch.
That's what we like to hear, baby.
It's pretty cool. Anyhow, so like in that way, I think anime definitely has had that big impact on me because it completely changed how I drew. I do wonder like what type of artist I'd be if I didn't come across anime and like get invested so much.
Yeah, because at that point it would just be whatever you were into,
Right.
And it's hard to make that what if just because you'd have to inherently put another thing that you would like as much as anime to kind of influence you.
It's like to the point where I wonder if I would be drawing as much. You know what I mean? That's the question.
Yeah, because a lot of what makes anime cool is the fact that it's drawn.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what's cool about it. I think it's interesting though. Also going back to like having friends that like that stuff. It's like I feel like right now kind of everybody kind of likes anime. Almost everyone kind of likes something.
I think to an extent. I mean, I think like we're in a friend group where most of us like anime, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy to say that, but like if you have a lot of like, I think it's a lot more accessible for people because I've had some friends for like my cousin's group of friends. They're pretty different, and they're not as like heavy into anime culture. But even then, like there's some guys who are like, yeah, I watched One Punch Man and stuff like that. Like it's something that.
I think it's more accepted.
Yeah.
As a more accepted form of media.
It's with stuff like Netflix.
People aren't as timid to try to enjoy something.
Yeah, and they'll see stuff on Netflix and be like, "Oh, this One Punch Man thing looks funny. Let me check it out." Herder, and then they really like it, right?
Yeah. Like, well, I meant when I said that, I meant specifically though, like kids going to school now. They're like a lot more like into anime, like just regular kids. Like my little brother, who is still in high school, and it's like all of his friends like anime to some extent, you know.
Yeah, and maybe some of that because of YouTube too, right?
Like that and K-pop, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, because I know a lot of YouTubers will sometimes mention anime stuff, and she's like, "Oh, what's this anime?" And then we'll check it out. Yeah, I don't have much experience because I don't have any younger siblings, and my younger cousins, like one of them, he's never really been into anime, but his friends are, and he's in high school now. He's actually started watching some. He's like, "Hey, Milu, you watched Darling in the Franxx?"
Oh.
I'm like, "Nope, that show was bad." And he's like, "Oh, I watched it." I was like, "Okay." And then a couple weeks ago, I was there for Christmas. He's like, "Hey, I'm starting to watch Attack on Titan." And I was like, "Okay, buddy, that's a good show. Proud of you."
Yeah, good job. Yeah, it's like it's hard to avoid at this point. I had a coworker, well, she was like 18, and she was like, I kind of want to watch anime. What should I watch? And I was like, oh, really? And I was like, you could try watching Attack on Titan. And she was like, okay, I'll try to do that. Comes back, be like, so I watched Seven Deadly Sins. I really like it. I was like, no.
Oh, no, she's basic.
No. That's not what I said.
What did she go on Netflix and type Attack on Titan and she saw Seven Deadly Sins or something?
Well, she told me she tried to watch Attack on Titan and she wasn't sure about it.
So she's big cringe.
I was like, dang it. Why?
I mean, to be fair, the first season of Seven Deadly Sins is pretty entertaining and fun. So I'm not gonna really blame the person because I remember reading the manga and really liking it, and I stopped reading right after season 1 ended. and I've just heard mixed things about it.
It's like I can understand. It's like in the inside I'm like, why? But it's like I can understand if you're newer to this.
Yeah.
And this is really easy to get into and type of stuff. But I'm like, I was really hoping you'd get into something I really like.
I mean, yeah, because Seven Deadly Sins is like baby's first shonen in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah, it's easy to digest. Nothing too serious.
And it showcases a lot of what
fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it showcases a lot of like what people like about anime.
Pretty much.
I think Attack on Titan is a good starter regardless, just because it's really good.
I think it's interesting that I think the first episode is like phenomenal, but for some reason some people just don't. They just don't like it.
I think a lot of it's like it's bizarre because I can kind of see why like season 1 Attack on Titan is weird for some people because it's such a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And if you are not ready for that intensity, or if you haven't seen anything animated in that style before, it is weird.
Isn't it? Oh, I thought really though people would think like, oh, this is just trying to be edgy when like I don't really see it that way.
Yeah, I think that's probably a factor too. It's just like Attack on Titan is a show where I think I'd recommend to people that maybe that wouldn't be like the first choice, but like
it's such a hit or miss because it depends on the person.
To an extent, because it's super popular, right? So
it's so popular, but it's like every time I recommend it, it's like
it misses for you.
Most of the time, it misses.
I would say maybe
it usually misses.
I think it just depends on the situation. I feel like if you kind of build them up to Attack on Titan, like if you make them watch something like One Punch Man, which is another good starter show, and you kind of slowly kind of get them used to these concepts.
Yeah.
And watching something like FMA Brother is always a great one, just because it's long, has an arc, and there's things about it where you can go into something like Attack on Titan and be like, okay, it's sort of similar length, total season-wise, episodes and stuff, and you're not going to be you're going to be used to sort of the mature themes and some of like the different things, and then you'll be like, oh, there's probably more to it, I just have to watch more episodes.
Yeah, you might be right. I think it might be a bit much for like starting off.
Yeah,
because it might be too much.
Because Seven Deadly Sins is perfect because it's, classic shonen, like very popcorny fun.
Right, like because I think because it is. I think Attack on Titan is really adult and very serious and dramatic.
Yeah.
And I think especially because it's an animated, there are people that probably aren't going to be willing to buy it right away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
so you kind of have to ease them into it, but I don't think you.
It's like it wouldn't even recommend it necessarily to somebody who's new. Maybe I guess I would recommend it. Obviously, if I'm recommending it, they're not that into anime, right? If I have to throw it out there.
Yeah.
But it still could be somebody like my friend, for instance, who has seen a good amount of anime. I'm like, check this out, and she's like, what the fuck? And like she got like 5 episodes in, and she still wasn't really like. I could tell she just wasn't. She was trying, but she was just like, man, this dude just died. What the heck is going on? Like.
Yeah, at that point you just have to kind of power through it, or maybe
because I do say like the first. It's like after the first episode, you have 3 episodes of kind of training going on, and I can understand if that gets really boring. I still think it's pretty good, but there's nothing like when they actually get going and start actually doing Titan stuff, fighting and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. And like my big sister, big normie, she watched anime with us when we were like little, right? But she definitely stopped. She was the type of person that kind of just like, all right, I'm growing up, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not watching that stuff anymore. She didn't watch cartoons and all that. She was like way more mature than us. I make that sound bad. I'm not saying anime fans are immature. I'm just saying, she just went a different direction. And, I was watching Attack on Titan. She's like, hey, this looks kind of cool. I want to watch this. And I'm like, let's go. Watch the whole first season. She's like, yeah, this is good. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, though, that's my little... Sorry, I kind of went off there, but...
Good job.
Attack on Titan is just really good.
Mia keeps recommending it, and it keeps missing for her.
It keeps missing. It makes me upset. There's so many... I don't know why I'm getting hit with all that. I'd be like...
Just make them watch Death Note. Call it a day. Death Note's really good.
Yeah, there's Death Note. My sister also watched Death Note.
I was watching Death Note with my friend because that was like an anime that she wanted to watch, or I recommended to her. I watched like 6 episodes. Like, God, Death Note is so good still.
So good. Part of it, I feel like Attack on Titan and Death Note, right? Huge part of it, directed so good.
Yeah.
And looks so great. And the music is stellar. It's like, what would it be without all that stuff? That extra stuff.
You mean you can just read the manga and be as good?
It could be as good, but it's like...
Because I
feel like that enhances it so much more. It's like an enhancement.
I think to it, yeah. I mean, I read the Death Note manga a couple years ago because I knew some of they changed some of the stuff in the anime for it.
Did they?
Oh, it's mainly just the ending.
I mean, I think the Death Note art is just really good in general. Though.
Yeah, so like reading it was really entertaining.
I just feel like music.
Like the
man,
like the orchestral stuff they do.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Death Note was a great experience. So
AOT soundtrack is also just so good.
all the insert songs though.
Shit.
Yeah, man.
It's just good timing with the songs. All right, that's a different topic. Let's stop. So obviously, like Attack on Titan's like a big early anime, but everybody really liked that. Do you feel you were especially impacted by anime growing up?
I mean, like I said with Naruto, definitely. I watched YouTube. I know what YouTube was. I bought Xbox because of Naruto. In terms of I guess thinking, I didn't really change my thought process much. I mean,
yeah, I don't think it changed.
Like I didn't have anything like
who you are.
I didn't do the drawing thing where I had something and then it changed it to anime. It just became a new medium for me to really grow attached to. And it wasn't like there were definitely things about Naruto that I tried to bring about in my life, like the whole never give up, believe it kind of stuff. It's like it kind of resonated with me.
Yeah, the messages are really nice, the positive messages.
Yeah. And then once I got into something like One Piece, I was like, that changed my life because One Piece is my favorite thing in the world, and I still love it to this day a lot. And like it's a big part of my identity, kind of in a way, where it's like I don't mind being known as a One Piece guy because it means so much to me, and I love talking about it with my friends. Where if I have an opportunity to, then yeah, I definitely will talk to them about it and gush about it because it's such a long running medium that's still going on that at this point, if you're in chapter 1001, you're kind of a fan. And it's very easy to keep talking about it, keep getting hyped for things just because of the way the story is, the world building, the characters. There's just a lot to speculate about it, where that was kind of like the first time I was able to really get something of that nature. And like my room has so much One Piece memorabilia. Like I have figures. I actually have all the wanted posters for the crew. I have a straw hat. Like the only thing I'm really missing at this point is like
the manga collection.
Yeah, I have some volumes.
The whole thing, probably like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, so that's going to be on I want to have a bookshelf, and I want to have a different living space, and then I'll start seriously collecting them. I just don't really feel like lugging manga that much right now.
Yeah, you realize this stuff takes space, and you're like, you can't really.
Yeah, because it came to a point where I own a couple of like manga volumes for something like Toriko and Magi, which were things I liked reading. And I thought, oh yeah, this would be fun collecting these, and I kind of bought them as they would come out. But I stopped caring and was like, do I really want to own all this? And then I was like, I'll own all the One Piece volumes because that's my true love, and that will be enough volumes of my life. So
pretty much.
Yeah.
All the volumes you'll ever need.
Yeah, because it's like, in terms of collecting things, I like to collect K-pop albums, and there's certain albums and groups that I kind of want to get all of them. Some of them are easier to do than the others, but I'm kind of working on that slowly.
Yeah, I had to put mine on a pause because I have a lot. It's been taking up a lot of space.
Yeah.
I have like at least a row shelf full of K-pop albums. Probably take up 2 shelves.
Yeah.
And
they definitely take up, because K-pop albums aren't like just a jewel case.
No.
Some of them are a jewel case, but
if they're a jewel case, I don't buy those.
Yeah, that's why I'm mad at like Red Velvet has like 2 albums that are a jewel case, and I just want to punch somebody. There's that, and then I also have the Monogatari light novels, and I want to collect all of those.
Oh, this isn't all of them?
Nope.
What?
That's only the second seasons.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mia is pointing at my second season Monogatari light novel collection.
There's like so many books, so I thought
no.
I thought that would be the whole thing.
Nope.
All right.
There's like 15.
Also, I see that you have Ronald Reagan. Is he your favorite?
No.
Why is he here?
Mia is now pointing at a Ronald Reagan Funko Pop I have because for my birthday, one of my friends, they got it to me. I think they were kind of memeing because they knew
You like
I like U.S.
government
history a
stuff.
lot. So I think they were kind of giving me a meme gift because Ronald Reagan's like not my favorite president or anything. I think he's fine.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's cute and it kind of showcases, it's a fun present.
It's funny, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's really funny, but I thought maybe there was some significance in it, specifically being Ronald Reagan.
No, I just think he's like a popular president. So if you're making a Funko Pop of someone, it kind of makes sense to do him.
Okay, I guess so.
I want to get. I have One Piece figures of Luffy and Zoro, and I want to get.
You want Sanjay?
I want the entire crew. So I eventually want to do that because my Luffy and Zoro.
Now you have to get them all in this style.
See, that's what I was thinking. So
because now you already have two. We already started, so now you have to finish.
Well, it's funny because the two figures I have of Luffy and Zoro are both in their Wano outfits, and they've actually the company that made them has made Wano outfits for all of them, so I could do it. But I do want to own another set then, just to have like my favorite outfits and stuff. And my two One Piece figures were also gifts, and they both kind of made me realize I want to collect figures in my life because figures are actually like they're fun to have.
They're nice to look at.
Yeah.
They're not things you need, but you know
they add character to a room.
They're nice to have. I think it's nice. You know, we just like to have things that represent the things that we like.
Yeah.
And things like that. It's like a malleable, not malleable, but tangible object of something that we really like.
Yeah, that's why collections exist, right?
Yeah. Also, yeah, just to kind of define ourselves in our room.
Yeah.
It's like, this is my...
To add personality.
Yeah.
But yeah, One Piece obviously impacted me, and just, I guess, in general, like, I guess the big impact of anime, you could argue for me, is the willingness to sort of accept this other culture's thing and really dig it and get used to reading subtitles and not being the guy that, like, oh, I have to watch this Korean movie? Oh, I have to read subtitles now? Yeah. Gee whiz.
I think that's a benefit of being into anime. It makes you a lot more culturally sensitive and a little bit more, culturally, I'm not trying to say smart, but like...
You're just tolerable.
Aware?
Yeah.
More culturally aware.
Yeah. And I mean, that's, I think, why me getting into K-pop was really easy, just because I already liked this other thing that was foreign.
Yeah.
So getting into K-pop really wasn't too weird for me. I didn't feel weird or anything because I was getting into Korean pop music, because it's like I already like K-pop anime, so it's like I don't really care at this point like what I like.
Yeah, that's interesting. For me, it was a different experience. Probably because I was the only one I knew that was into it, so for me it was totally different.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say I definitely felt weird, and I was very embarrassed.
Yeah, I mean, the tables turned. I remember making fun of Mia for liking K-pop in 9th grade.
Yep, that happened.
And then I remember in like 11th or 12th grade, I was like, hey, Mia, what are some K-pop groups I should get into?
It's so funny. Oh, jeez. Who would have thought?
The tables turned.
Who would have thought? Now I make fun of you. No, I'm just kidding. I can't. Yeah, I just think that I feel like some people feel like there's like that anime that's really changed them or changed their life. Like, it depends on the person. Like, I mean, for Milesh, it literally is like a big part of his character, you know? Like One Piece. And I think for me, it's a little bit less much. I mean, as far as my art, yeah. I guess art is a lot of my personality because I don't have that much. So, you know, drawing, I'm the artist. I roll with that. The anime artist. But other than that, it's like, it's hard for me to say that there is one anime that like super impacted me like a lot. That's like deep. I don't know. I feel like because I've thought about it before, and you know, I feel like I'm still kind of like the same person with or without it type of thing.
Yeah, because I think it's always hard because it's like sometimes I know like a couple of my friends be like, man, you talk about One Piece a lot, and I'm like, you know, you're right, but you know, my counter argument's like, it's a really big passionate thing I have in my life, and I have, you know, friends that are equally pretty much as into it and are willing to have conversations with it. So I not, you know, it's like I like what I like to talk about, and it's like I only really have two friends that are as into One Piece as I am. So whenever they're there, gotta bring it up a little bit, you know. And it's like I understand that, like, I shouldn't talk about it all the time, but it's like a, you know, a big part, and it's something that my love for it will never really falter, I think. And I'm happy that I have something that I care that much about. Because, for a lot of people, it's like Star Wars or the Marvel movies, right? Like, that's their childhood. That's the thing, like, every time a new episode of The Mandalorian comes out, like, this is the greatest. And they have all these people to talk about it
That's
with.
true.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, like, with me, it's this One Piece, and it's like, I found that community, that group, and here we are.
Yeah. I think I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I think it's like my life changing thing is more like K-pop. Probably, I'm not gonna get into it, but it's probably more like K-pop that has made like more impact on me personally. Even though anime I've been invested into longer, but shoot, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh, I think it could have been Naruto, but it's like whenever I don't know, over time, it's like whenever the problems in the story really started to arise and whenever I started to get aware of them, it made me less excited about talking about it. And, a lot of people around me that liked anime were less interested in talking about it. And it's just like, I think it naturally just kind of died my passion down a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to make Naruto your king when the last half of it's so bad.
Yeah, which is, it's really sad. Because it's like, I still have so many fond memories of, like, being into it, not being into it, and then going back into it, like, and there's that wave of nostalgia, and you just feel really good. It's like, just happy, like, going back into it. And it still happens sometimes. But, it's not like this, life-defining thing for me.
Yeah.
At least not anymore. Maybe back then it was.
Yeah, I think that's...
For sure back then it probably was, like, my personality at some point, like, in school and stuff.
Yeah.
But... things change. And I feel like I've just developed so many other interests. It's like, I don't know, I kind of battle with what I like more sometimes, but yeah. That's about it on that. For anything else you want to talk about, Milesh?
Honestly, I think we covered most of the stuff. I feel like we both have a pretty good background, like, as to how we got into it. The stuff that really mattered to us in our childhood, and I think the lesson we can learn is that we both were really into Naruto.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that something like this could be a gateway to making friends, but I think it did the opposite for me. I think I struggled to make friends more because I didn't really know too many people. At least, I'll take that back. 5th grade, I had this awesome group of friends that we just all loved Naruto. We were really invested. It's like 7 of us in 5th grade in this one class. Great times. And I feel like after that, I didn't come across anime fans that much.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I just never seemed to come across them too much. I feel like I got really unlucky because I got heavily... I forgot to mention that the time I started watching seasonal was like 6th grade. 6th or 7th. No, that's not seasonal. I started watching other dubbed anime, Japanese dubbed anime in 6th grade. Like I found like Shigakara. That's when I started watching Reborn. I was just like finding things. I remember Steins Gate was airing and I didn't watch it. And I'm like, how come I didn't watch it back then? But then again, back then I probably wouldn't have appreciated it. But I don't know. I feel like it was just me and anime for most of the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cause
it was like I just did it. I feel like I went through the journey mostly myself.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I had those friends in 4th grade that I talked to Naruto about. But after that, really throughout middle school, it wasn't really until 8th grade where I had friends that were into Naruto. But, like, we didn't talk too much about it. We mainly talked about Pokemon. And 9th grade was really the first grade where anime really became a thing that I talked about with my friends. And then 10th, 11th, a little bit more meandering, but in 11th and 12th is really kind of, again, where another anime swing came in. And then getting into UNF and stuff, it's like...
Oh, yeah. See, that's the turning point. We're like, whoa, here's all these people that are just like me. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I guess that's it, though.
Yeah, that was a fun little flashback episode, if you will.
Yeah, hopefully, the audience can relate.
Yeah.
Everybody has an anime that's really close to them, that really started all of it. They got invested into. And, some people have that one little moment, that's it. They move on. And then some people, they're just like, I still really like this stuff.
Yeah.
I think I'll always I think I'll always kind of like it to some extent. Probably will have times where I don't watch it as much.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know, in the future, I think I'll still occasionally be watching it.
Yeah, the big question is like 10 years from now, are we still going to be watching anime? I think my answer is yes.
Yes. I'm positive.
And it's,
I'm looking. Something.
Yeah, I mean, One Piece will probably be over by 10 years. But man, when that last chapter of One Piece comes out, you already know me and Donald are going to be shedding a lot of tears.
You guys gonna be bawling.
Me and Donald, we just can't even talk to anyone for like a day when that chapter comes out.
I think if anything, we'll like reminisce on that stuff too in the future because we've seen so much anime. It's like we can't just forget all that.
Yeah, like back in my day, son, we used to watch Attack on Titan and we liked it.
Yeah, watching anime with our grandkids. Like,
you see, son, this is One Piece. You have to like it or I'll disown you.
These were the old days. But yeah. So, any last words, Milesh?
Stay tuned for more episodes. I think we're gonna do we're gonna do some cool stuff.
Stay tuned for our future podcast. We've got some nice things in store.
Yeah, and we'll have maybe some guests on eventually.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get more guests. I'm sure there's always somebody who's willing to be on. Just don't really ask them.
Yeah.
Justin needs to come on for like Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
For sure. There's
some fun stuff we can do.
Yeah. But anyway, so that was the Mimi podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're watching it on there. Maybe leave a comment. What's your favorite? What was your introductory anime? And we also are on like pretty much any podcast platform. So, make sure you follow us. Keep playing our streams, please.
Love us, please. All right. Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.